Hello everybody, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Maisie and this month we are mixing things up a little bit. Normally every month on my channel I do TBR videos using a TBR prompt jar. However, this month it's my birthday and I thought what better way to celebrate your birthday than unwrapping books. Granted, I did buy these books myself and they have been on my TBR cart, some of them for a year. Honestly, I only wrapped them last night and I'm already excited to open some books. It really does feel like they're birthday presents from me to me. So last night, with the help from my lovely boyfriend, we wrapped 26 of my TBR books to do this video. And I think we've got a good amount here to choose from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a number generator on my phone and we will pick the books that it generates. I'm also going to guess what book it is as I hold it before I open it, which before I wrapped them I thought, oh yeah, I'll obviously know which book's which. Now that they're wrapped, I literally have no idea. The only one that I think I probably know is Iron Flame, which must be this one because that's like by far my biggest book. But otherwise, I have no idea. So I'm going to spin. I'm going to be choosing 8 books, which is what I normally choose. I'm a bit scared because obviously normally when I do the TBR prompt chart, I have some control over the books. But this time I don't. Okay, so we have number 17 is our first book, which is here. Okay, it's a small one. Oh, this could honestly be anything. Oh, maybe this is Practice Makes Perfect because I'm pretty sure that's quite like a short paperback. Oh! Okay, I was wrong, but this is exciting. Okay, so the first book is Checkmate by Ali Hazelwood, which I was going to say is one of her new releases. It's not that new anymore, I think. It came out last year. So yeah, this came out I think towards the end of last year, and this is Ali Hazelwood's first YA book, and it's a YA romance. Our main player is a bit of a chess protege. I've heard good things. I love Ali Hazelwood's books. I'm excited about that one. Okay, we're off to a great start. We're going to spin again. 18. Interesting, so right next to 17. Oh, this is like a firm paperback. This could be, what firm paperbacks do I have? Imagine if this is Bride, the other Ali Hazelwood book. It could be, oh, it could be Caraval. That's my guess, Caraval. Oh no, oh, okay, another YA romance. As I said in my book haul, I think this is YA, but I couldn't be 100% sure. This is Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I really enjoy Lynn Painter's writing, and 2 of her books that I read I gave 5 stars. That was Mr. Wrong Number and Better Than the Movies, so I'm really excited to read this one. Okay, so they meet and they don't get on, and he's grumpy, she's sunshine, but then years later they end up working at the same place, and I assume it's a romance. That's all I know. All I need to know, to be honest. Okay. I'm hoping that we get some fantasy. Oh, whoops, guys, I've just spun, but I forgot to screen record. Okay, it's number 3 has come up. Another paperback. I think most of my fantasies are hardback. Although I do, you know what, I know I said last time that I thought that one was Caraval, but I think this one might be Caraval. It's kind of like a thick, firm feeling paperback. No, I'm wrong again. Okay, another romance. I can't have 8 romances on my TBR. I read so much romance this month and I need a fantasy. Okay, this is Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. This is a book that has been on my radar for such a long time because I'm pretty sure brother's best friend trope, and if you've watched some of my other videos you may know that I love the idea of a brother's best friend trope, but I've hardly ever found one that I liked. So hopefully this one will be good. As I said, I know it's Brother's Best Friend. I don't know too much else about it, but this is a series by Tessa Bailey, I think. It's quite an old series. Let's pray for some fantasy now. Let's remember to screen record. I actually would really like Iron Flame to be on my TBR this month because I actually just really want to read it. If I leave it much longer, I'm just going to forget everything about it. 16. That's not Iron Flame. Okay, this is a thick... Oh! So I think either 16 or 4, one of these has to be Binding 13 because it's like a thick paperback. Oh my god, that means the other one is Crescent City. Okay, so I really want to read Binding 13 as well. Crescent City, I'm scared. I obviously want to read that book, but I am scared about it. So I'm kind of hoping this is Binding 13, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think it might be Crescent City because it's quite small. Oh, I don't know. Yes! Okay. Right, if after this I can have no more romance books, that'll be good, but I am very happy to have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh on my TBR for this month. I've just been wanting to read it for so long, and I know people are very split on their opinions on this. People either seem to love it or hate it. I'm a bit worried because I think a lot of the people that I've seen like it are also big fans of Addicted Calloway, and I don't love the Addicted Calloway sister series. In fact, I'm currently reading Addicted After All. I've been reading it for like weeks, but hardly reading it, obviously, because I'm just not enjoying it. I do love Rosie and Dyke. Rosie and Dyke. Oh my god, I do love Daisy and Wright's books in that series, but the rest, I was going to say I could take them or leave them, but actually I could just leave them. Even though these books have been compared to those a lot, I'm still very tempted to pick them up. I think I've heard that they're quite like character driven, maybe painful. I'm hoping they're angsty, but obviously it's very long. So anyway, I'm excited to dive into this series. This is a romance series, and the first 2 books follow Johnny and Shannon, and then there are other books in the series following other couples. And it takes place in Ireland, and they play rugby, I think. And I think she has quite a tough personal life. I think he's quite protective of her. I do know, however, there's an age gap, which I'm not sure about because it's not like it's a really big age gap, but it's the specific ages that the characters are. I think that the main girl is 15 at the start, and he is like 17 or 18, which, I mean, why did we have to make her under 16? Anyway, but I'm just going to try and remember it's a book and go in with an open mind. Okay, that is our first 4 books chosen, and spin. Oh, 25. We're right at the bottom here. Okay, this is very thin. Oh, maybe this one is Practice Makes Perfect, which, please, I don't want any more romance. Oh, it could be Home Before Dark by Ray Sager. That would be good if it is, actually. I think that looks quite small. Oh, okay. It is a different romance, so actually I'm really excited about this one because I've heard so many amazing things about it over the past few weeks especially, and that is Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. Bryn or Brine? I'm gonna say Bryn because Brine sounds weird. This is a dark romance in which the main characters, I think, are both serial killers, but I think they're kind of like redeemable serial killers. I'm excited to read this. I've just heard so many good things, and I just think, if nothing more, hopefully it should just be a fun time. And yeah, it's not too long, but seriously, I need some fantasy. I am very concerned about this TBR. That's 5 books, 5 romance books. And I wanted a predominantly fantasy TBR. I swear there are loads of fantasy books on this car. 8. Oh, okay. As I said, I'm pretty sure this is the one that's Iron Flame. So we're gonna get a fantasy, and actually it's a book that I really want. You know what, this TBR, okay, it's very heavy on romance, but it's actually going so well. I've got Binding 13. I think that I've got Iron Flame. I've got some newer releases that I've been excited to read. Why can't I open this? Guys, I was right. Iron Flame. Now, I know that the consensus on this book is that it's not as good as Fourth Wing, and people have been very disappointed in it. I'm still really excited to read it. I loved Fourth Wing. I just want to get back to the characters. I know people have been disappointed in the romance, specifically in this book, as well as the kind of sheer amount of world building. Neither of those things are bothering me because I think there wasn't that much world building in Fourth Wing. It was very simple, so I think I'm excited to see more world building in this one. And secondly, the romance, the things I've heard about the romance and the reasons why people don't like it, honestly, it sounds like a bit of me. I love a conflict. I don't like our couples to have an easy ride where they're just happy and in love. I want angst, I want arguments, I want pain. So I'm excited. Okay, so that is 6 books, 2 more to go. This is actually so fun. Like, why is it so much more exciting to put books on your TBR when you're unwrapping them? This literally is like a birthday present to me. It feels like these are all gifts. Oh, we've had 17, I think. Yep, so we'll spin again. Seven. I know I've guessed so many times practice makes perfect, but I really think this one might be practice makes perfect, guys. Look, it's small, it's thin. Oh, it's not. But again, this is another book that I'm excited to read. I wish it wasn't another romance, but this is like a whole pile of really highly anticipated books for me. So this is The 7 Years Slip by Ashley Poston, I think. And she is the author of The Dead Romantics, and this is her second book. And I have seen both The Dead Romantics and this one get so much love on BookTube and Bookstagram. And I'm just excited to read it. I'm pretty sure there's a man in her apartment living like 7 years in the past. I don't really understand, but I'm hoping that when I read it, I will understand. I mean, it's surely not going to be that complex. It's like a 300-page romance book. So yeah, I'm excited to read that one just because I've heard such good things about it. Last one. I really hope that I do get another fantasy because I'm not going to want all of this romance, and now I don't know what book's which, so during the month I'm either going to have to just commit and unwrap all of them if I want to read a specific book, or I don't know how it's going to work. 26. Okay, this is quite a stiff paperback. You know what, I'm actually, if this isn't a fantasy, I'm going to keep spinning. I'll put this on my TBR, but I'll also keep adding books until I get another fantasy. Okay, it's another really highly anticipated newish release, but it is another romance. This must be like nearly all of the romance books that are on my book. Like, there's surely not that many more. I'm sure I had more fantasy. Okay, this is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This is the first book in her Lakefront Billionaire series, and I think it kind of crosses over a little bit with the Dreamland Billionaire series. In fact, I think it takes place in the same place as the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. And I've just heard amazing things about this book. I've heard people say this is Lauren Asher's best ever book, so I'm really excited. Personally, my favourite Lauren Asher book, and this is a very unpopular opinion, is Throttled. And that's just because Noah is Charles Leclerc and Charles Leclerc is my husband. So I'm excited to read Love Redesign. Do I know anything about it or the tropes? No. It's a Lauren Asher book, I don't need to know. Right, as I said, I'm going to spin again. I think I'll go up to 10 because I can't put more than 10 books on my TBR. I really want another fantasy. I would actually really like Two Twisted Crowns, the second book to One Dark Window. I just kind of want to read it close to when I read One Dark Window, which was in February. 19. Okay, this is a biggish paperback. This could be Two Twisted Crowns. It also could be, oh okay, it is another fantasy. Not really one of the ones that I wanted the most, but that's okay. It is A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. This is a newish fantasy romance series, K.A. Tucker's first ever fantasy, I think. And I think there's a few books out now. Somebody told me in the comments of another video. I think there's like 2 books out so far, or maybe 3 now, I don't know. I don't know much about this. Okay, so our main character is a thief, and something happens and she wakes up in somebody else's body. Oh, she wakes up in an elven princess's body, and the princess is betrothed to King Xander, who detests her. But she's forced to play the smitten princess as the unwilling pair work together to uncover the danger that surrounds them. It actually sounds really interesting, so I'm happy about this one on my TBR. Okay, let's do one more spin then. This is our last book. 23, okay. Okay, I actually think that this, did I say this last time? I think this is either Two Twisted Crowns or Bride by Annie Hazelwood. Have I guessed any right so far other than Iron Flame? Oh, I think maybe Binding 13 I got right. It also could be Caraval, but I think it's a fantasy, guys. I think we might have another fantasy. It might basically just be fantasy and practice makes perfect left on my TBR, to be honest. Yes! Okay, that is a really good result. 2 Twisted Crowns. This is the second book to One Dark Window, which is a gothic fantasy romance series. I think there's just 2 books overall in the series, and I think that in this book we get a different character's perspective and also like a bit of a different romance to the first book. I'm really excited. I've heard great things about this book. Some people even like it more than the first book, and I really enjoyed the first book. The magic system was a little bit confusing for me at first, but actually it's so interesting and so different, so yeah. Okay, so I've done a little rearrange and now we're going to run through and put our TBR on this top shelf. Let me know, by the way, if you enjoyed this version of a TBR video. Do you prefer the prompt jar? Because if you like this one, I think I might do it again next month just to not waste all of this wrapping, and I may wrap up a few more books to kind of fill in some of the gaps in numbers, but I really enjoyed doing it this way. It's like made it really exciting, and now I'm actually so excited to read these books because they're like new presents. Okay, let's start from the top. So the first book that we picked was Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, a YA romance. The second book is also a YA romance, Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Next we have Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey, a brother's best friend adult or new adult romance. Then we have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, the first book in a romance series. Then we have Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, a dark serial killer romance. Then we have Iron Flame, the second book to Fourth Wing, a fantasy romance series. Then we have The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston, a romance with some kind of like magical realism elements. And then we have Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, the first book in her new romance series. A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker, the first book in a new fantasy romance series. And 2 Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, the second book to One Dark Window, a gothic fantasy romance series. Thank you so much if you have watched to the end of this video. Please don't forget to like, leave a comment and subscribe, and I would love to see you in my next one. Bye!